Yeah, so faith as a struggle, right? This is operative. This is sort of the operating system of the Hebraic monotheism of the Old Testament, of the Jewish Bible. Um, it pops up in Genesis 32 when Jacob wrestles with God and then is renamed as Israel, which means he who struggles with God and survives. And so, we looked at the the Abraham story in that light, the idea of struggle, right? So when you put up the idea of struggle there, then the idea of blind faith and Abraham, the perfect, obedient servant of God, gets pretty much thrown out the window. And we can reread the story, or we can see the story in a new light, and we can see things that are oftentimes overlooked or sanitized within the institutional tradition. So, we looked at that. We looked at the basic idea of the call and the promise, the covenant, right? So, this monotheism, this new monotheism, in contrast to the existing polytheism at the time, is going to call for a covenant, okay, a type of contract which will lead to commandments and laws, okay. So a real systematization of the faith, of religion, right? A real, when you start to do contractual things, right? Um, you're really, it's a form of education, a form of learning that is really inscribing things into the body and the consciousness. Um, and so this will be carried out largely through the idea of the book, the Hebrew Bible, or the Hebrew Bible, the Christian Bible, and the Quranic Bible, the Quran. Uh, these are all very singular things in the sense that books and the reading and the writing and the interpretation of books, of thinking through the religion through books, through reading and writing, now becomes this new thing. And when we read and write, when we explore faith through the idea of books, it's really getting into us in a much deeper, on a much deeper level, a much deeper level of consciousness, psychologically, existentially, philosophically. Right. So we looked at that. We looked at some of the other things that were going on, but this idea of faith as struggle, not as salvation, not as submission, was the emphasis. Faith as a text, I just mentioned. Um, Faith as historical consciousness, and the idea of redemptive versus tragic, I'm going to talk about as well.